Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we are going to break down something that sits at the very core of how money moves around the world, something most people never think twice about, yet it impacts every cross-border payment, every international transaction, and every interaction between global banks. We are talking about the existing financial communication system that powers our international transfers, the SWIFT network, and the revolutionary upgrade on the horizon with ISO 2022, a universal financial messaging standard that is set to completely change the way financial information is exchanged. Alongside this, we'll explore how projects like Zebec Network, ZBCN, fit into this transformation, and why compliance with ISO 2022 could be a game-changer for crypto adoption, banking partnerships, and long-term institutional trust. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. Nothing in this content should be considered as financial advice, investment advice, or legal advice. Always do your own research before making any financial decisions, and consult with a qualified professional if necessary. The cryptocurrency market is highly volatile, and you should never invest money you cannot afford to lose. The views expressed in this video are based on publicly available information and personal opinions, and may not reflect the official stance of any company or organization mentioned. Let's start with the system we have now. The SWIFT network is the backbone of international finance. If the UK wants to send money to the US, or if Japan wants to transfer funds to Germany, the majority of those transactions rely on SWIFT. On the surface, it seems efficient. Banks can communicate securely and send instructions across borders. But once you peel back the curtain, the cracks become very obvious. A simple transfer between countries can take anywhere from 3 to 5 business days. That means if you send money on a Friday afternoon, instantly. Money, ironically, moves slower than an email. The delays are not the only problem. The fees are significant. For small amounts, those fees can sometimes eat a painful percentage of the transfer. For large amounts, they are simply unavoidable costs of doing international business. On top of this, each country's financial institutions often use slightly different coding systems, languages, and message formats. That means every transfer is basically an exercise in translation. Banks need to make sure they fully understand the message, otherwise there's a risk of errors, miscommunication, or even failed transactions. And when mistakes happen, the costs are high, sometimes even disastrous. In other words, SWIFT is old and outdated. It was designed in the 1970s and patched over the decades, but never truly reimagined for the 21st century digital economy. And that's where ISO 2022 comes in. Starting in November 2025, the global financial system will roll out ISO 2022, a modernized financial messaging standard. Unlike SWIFT, where information is constrained and fragmented, ISO 2022 provides a universal language for financial data. Think of it like this. Imagine you're in a room with people speaking 10 different languages. Some words overlap, but many don't. Communication is slow, mistakes happen, and misunderstandings cost time and money. Now imagine everyone switches to a single shared language with clearly defined words and meanings. Suddenly, communication is fast, clear, and consistent. That's essentially what ISO 2022 is doing for finance. It acts as a global financial dictionary. It gives every transaction, whether it's a payment, a securities trade, a foreign exchange deal, or even a credit card charge, the same data model. That means institutions can exchange information with full clarity, and systems across borders can instantly understand the data. And here's another key point. ISO 2022 is open and free. That means any institution, anywhere in the world, can contribute to its ongoing development. It's not just a standard set by one country or one corporation. It's a truly global initiative, built for collaboration and long-term trust. The benefits are massive: faster processing of transactions across borders, no more confusion over different message formats, fewer errors, fewer failed transfers, lower costs, stronger compliance monitoring to reduce fraud, and seamless integration across nations. ISO 2022 is not just an upgrade, it is the foundation for the next generation of finance. At this point, you might be wondering, wait, ISO 2022 is about bank messaging, not crypto. So why are people in the blockchain world talking about it so much? Great question. While ISO 2022 is not specifically designed for crypto, certain blockchain projects have aligned themselves with the standard. This matters because banks and institutions are moving toward full ISO compliance, and they will naturally prefer to work with partners, whether they are fintechs, payment firms, or crypto networks that are already aligned with this system. So far, only a handful of crypto projects are officially ISO 2022 compliant or in the process of becoming compliant. These include Ripple, XRP, known for cross-border payments; Stellar, XLM, focused on peer-to-peer transactions and remittances; Quant, QNT, enabling interoperability between blockchains; Algorand Algo, powering secure, scalable smart contracts; XDC Network, XDC, with trade finance and enterprise solutions; Cardano ADA and Chainlink Link, which are also working toward compatibility. And now, Zebec Network, ZBCN, is joining this list by making ISO 2022 compliance a priority. Zebec is not just another crypto project trying to ride the hype. Its focus is on stablecoin payrolls and continuous payment streaming. Imagine employees being paid every second instead of every 2 weeks. Imagine businesses settling invoices instantly across borders. That's what Zebec is building. By aligning itself with ISO 2022, Zebec is signaling to institutions, regulators, and enterprises that it is ready for the future of finance. This is critical because compliance is no longer optional. Crypto may have started as a Wild West experiment, but institutions only step in when there is clarity, safety, and trust. That's why Ripple's legal battle with the SEC was so significant. It showed that once you establish regulatory clarity, the floodgates open for institutional adoption. Zebec has already taken key steps, achieving SOC 2 compliance, a major American security and compliance standard, working toward compliance with MiCA in Europe, FCA in the UK, and now ISO 2022 globally. Zebec has also partnered with Algorand and integrated into real-world financial products like the Zebec Silver Card. Each of these steps makes Zebec more appealing to large financial players who don't want the regulatory risk of working with unverified projects. From an investor's point of view, compliance is not just a technical checkbox. It's a gateway to partnerships and capital inflows. Banks, governments, and corporations cannot afford to partner with projects that sit in legal gray areas. By becoming ISO 222 compliant, Zebec is essentially giving these institutions a green light. Think of it this way. The global shift to ISO 2022 means trillions of dollars in transactions will soon be running through this new standard. If Zebec is positioned as one of the few compliant crypto projects, it could attract massive flows of liquidity and partnerships. It also means interoperability with other compliant projects like Ripple, Stellar, Algorand, and Quant. This network effect of compliant projects can snowball into significant real-world adoption. Compliance alone isn't enough. You need technology that can scale securely into the future. Zebec's architecture has been designed to be enterprise-ready. That means it's not just good enough for today's retail crypto users. It's built for governments, institutions, and corporations who are thinking 50 or even 100 years ahead. One of the standout features of Zebec's ledger is its quantum security. While quantum computers are still in early stages, they pose a real future threat to existing cryptographic systems. Many blockchains today are not ready for the quantum era. Zebec is addressing this head-on, ensuring that assets tokenized on its network remain secure even decades into the future. Institutions want stability, not uncertainty, and Zebec is positioning itself as a long-term, institution-grade blockchain. Partnerships are the lifeblood of any ecosystem. Zebec's collaboration with Algorand is just the beginning. Once ISO 2022 compliance is fully established, Zebec will be able to integrate more deeply with the other compliant projects like Ripple and Stellar. Imagine seamless cross-network payments, payroll streaming, and enterprise adoption, all flowing through an interconnected web of compliant, secure blockchains. The U.S., a Treasury and Federal Reserve are already moving to adopt ISO 2022 as the standard for systems like Fedwire Fund Service. This shows just how serious the transition is. When governments are upgrading their core financial infrastructure, you know the change is real and irreversible, and Zebec is making sure it is not left behind in this global shift. The world's financial messaging system is evolving from the outdated SWIFT model to the modern, universal ISO 2022 standard. This change is about clarity, speed, efficiency, and reducing risk in the global financial system. While ISO 2022 is not specifically about crypto, it has massive implications for blockchain projects. Only a few are moving quickly to align with the standard, and Zebec Network is one of them. This compliance opens doors to institutional trust, regulatory clarity, and global partnerships that can drive adoption far beyond speculative hype. For investors, this means Zebec is not just another coin. It is a project positioning itself at the intersection of blockchain innovation and institutional finance. By focusing on real-world utility like payroll and stablecoin payments, combined with compliance and quantum security, Zebec is preparing for the next era of digital finance. The shift is coming in November 2025. Institutions will demand compliance, and the projects that meet those standards will thrive. Zebec Network has a seat at that table, and for those watching closely, it may just be one of the most strategically positioned blockchain projects of the next decade. If you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to hit the like button, share this video with others who might find it valuable, and of course, subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into blockchain, finance, and the future of money. Also, tap the notification bell so you never miss an update.